A system rejected the correct information and an announcement was sent that shouldn't have existed, and someone managed to lock themselves out again. Welcome back to News Glitch. I'm Matthew, and this is episode 9, where real headlines prove you can follow every instruction and still get denied. Let's get straight into it with article number 1. So article number 1's headline goes like this. An airport sent out a boarding notification for a flight that didn't exist. That's a bold move. Passengers received an official alert telling them to head to the gate and board their flight, but when they got there, staff had no idea what flight they were even talking about. You can't announce a flight that was never scheduled. That's not travel, that's improvisation. That's just absurd. Imagine rushing through the airport, you grab your bag, you run to the gate, you're ready to board, and the airport just says, I have no idea what flight you're supposed to be on, I have no clue why you're here. The announcement came from the official system, so people trusted it, because when the airport tells you to board, you board. And if they just ignored all updates to board normally, they would miss their flight. So it's valid that they ran to the airport. And the article's reporting like it's normal. Every time they report it like it's normal. Passengers received incorrect alert. They didn't even take accountability. They're like, what flight are you supposed to be on? Like, well, we don't know what you're talking about. So if the airport tells you to board a flight that doesn't exist, the system is guessing. Alright, next headline, because the system clearly needs some supervision. So for headline number 2, we have this. An office printer refused to print, even though nothing was wrong with it. It just decided not to cooperate. Employees kept trying to print documents, but the printer kept showing vague error messages despite being fully connected and functional. Printers are the only technology that can be working and still refuse to work. You have paper, ink, connection, power, and somehow it will still say no and it won't print. You press print, the computer says it's printing, the printer says it's ready, and then nothing. The printer will display messages like error, check device, retry. No explanation, just attitude. All you get from a printer is attitude when it's wrong, and none of the messages that pop up are even helpful usually. Error? It's great I have an error, but I just want my document. What am I going to do with an error? Check device. What am I checking on the device? Then you pull up a crazy YouTube video and nothing ever works. And they're just calling this a printer malfunction. But this happens all the time. No one knows how to fix a printer. Like, there was nothing wrong with it in the first place. There's no reason, no solution. All that comes out of this is complete frustration. If printers ran the world, nothing would ever get done. Alright, next headline, because obviously I have more articles because the system isn't finished yet. So for headline number 3, we have this. A company sent an email telling employees to ignore the previous email, which immediately made things worse. So for some quick context, after sending out an important company-wide message, management followed up with another email telling everyone to disregard the first one without explaining what was wrong. Okay, my immediate reaction is you cannot say ignore the previous email and give no further instructions. That's not clarity. That's suspense. Now I'm waiting, like, what's going on? Why they just sent out this important company-wide email and then say disregard that? Everyone opened the second email, they read it, and they probably reread it, and now they're even more confused as ever. You need a third email now. This is the worst kind of correction, because now people are asking, what was wrong in the first email? Or is the second email wrong? Which one do we follow? What do we do? That's why now you need a third email, which is ridiculous. Like, there was no resolution there, just more emails. Actually, a third email I think would have been a resolution and honestly probably pretty helpful. If your correction creates more confusion, it wasn't a correction. Alright, let's get straight into the final headline because it somehow gets even more preventable. So for headline number 4, we have a person reset their password and immediately forgot the new one. So now they're locked out again. That's kind of convenient. Quick context, the user changed their password to regain access to an account, but moments later couldn't remember the new one and had to start the entire reset process over again. This is modern life. This happens all the time. This is not the first time we've ever heard of this. You prove you're you just to forget who you are. You create the new password to confirm it, you submit it, and then the second the page reloads, it's gone. You just forget. I don't understand. The system assumes you'll remember something you created 10 minutes ago. This is the person's fault. And the brain says no. I just don't understand how you could forget password, do the whole thing. It's an annoying process. You gotta get an email confirmation, and it's really annoying in the first place. So to have to do that again because of your own mistake, because you input another password you won't remember, kind of your fault on this one. What's even crazier is that this was a news article that someone published, because this happens all the time, but is this really news article worthy? Who said that they should publish this? And the the title is perfect. User resets password. But why is that a news article? If you need a password to prove you're you and you forget it, the system wins. That's News Glitch. That's it for episode 9 of News Glitch. Real headlines, real systems, and somehow they all manage to fail in the simplest situations. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and check out the clips. New episodes coming soon. I'm Matthew, and I'll see you next time, assuming the system approves it.